Armed assassins break into a soldier's home, killing his wife and unborn daughter. But the man they leave alive will become their worst nightmare. Fueled by rage and trained to kill, he's about to unleash a storm no one can survive. The story begins with U.S. Navy SEALs appearing during an operation and taking down several insurgents. They search for a target while moving through the ruins of a damaged building and the streets of Aleppo. After clearing the building, Agent Ritter appears and instructs them to rescue a CIA hostage held by Syrian government forces.
The hostage is a CIA operative. We believe he's being held by Syrian government forces in a nearby building.
After receiving brief information from the agent, team leader John Kelly moves his team to a different part of the city. They launch an attack on a suspected building and successfully free the captives. After completing the mission, John Kelly searches the pockets of a dead Syrian soldier and checks his phone data. He discovers that the soldier was actually a former member of the Russian army. Agent Ritter tells him to drop the matter and move out as soon as possible. As they are leaving, a Russian unit fires an RPG at them.
RPG! Take cover!
Kelly and his team respond with a counterattack. They quickly realize that the location is not a safe place for Syrian forces, but instead a hidden Russian weapons depot. During the intense battle, they and the rescued hostage escape to the rooftop of the building, where a helicopter is waiting. While on board the helicopter, Kelly blames Ritter for the deaths of his men caused by the Russians. Soon after, they destroy the building and leave the area. Next, one of Kelly's team members, who had recently retired from the military and is spending time with his family at home, is hit by a van outside his house. After some time, another retired team member is assassinated on the road by unknown attackers. These victims were among the soldiers who helped rescue the CIA hostage in Aleppo 3 years earlier. That night, while Kelly and his wife are preparing to sleep in their bedroom, he leaves her resting and goes to the sofa to eat snacks and listen to music. After some time, his laptop shuts down. He realizes that the power in his house has gone out. He then hears footsteps approaching along with the sound of a door opening. He quickly pulls his revolver from a drawer and follows the noise. He soon discovers that several armed men have broken into his home. They kill his pregnant wife while Kelly fights back and takes them down one by one. He is about to kill the last attacker when he gets shot and badly wounded. As the attacker runs out of bullets, he escapes from the house. Kelly crawls into his bedroom to check on his wife, but she is no longer alive. He is then taken to the hospital. After some time, he finally regains consciousness. His Navy SEAL captain, Karen Greer, visits him and informs him about the deaths of his wife and 2 former SEAL teammates. She also tells him that security measures have been increased for the remaining team members. Kelly explains that the attackers who entered his home were not ordinary criminals or robbers, but highly trained professionals. He believes they came there with a specific purpose. He asks her to do him a favor by providing the identities of the attackers, but she says she does not have that information. She advises him to rest because the case is still under investigation. Kelly finally recovers and joins a U.S. Army Special Forces team. Meanwhile, the Secretary of Defense arranges a meeting with Agents Ritter and Greer. During the discussion, Agent Ritter informs them that the attackers are Russians. He explains that they are Russian soldiers and members of the Russian Federation's FSB, the Federal Security Service. He tells the Secretary that Kelly and his team had attacked the FSB in Aleppo a few years earlier to rescue the CIA hostage. The Russians are now acting in retaliation for that mission. Ritter also mentions that the CIA has decided not to take any action regarding these incidents.
It's unnecessary to poke the bear any further.
He concludes that they will not confront the attackers or Russia directly, but will continue to investigate the matter. After some time, Karen returns to Kelly and informs him that the Russians were the ones who killed his wife and his teammates. She also tells him that the CIA will stop its investigation.
They're calling it national security.
As a courtesy, she provides him with the files containing the passports of the operatives in the United States. She reveals that Andre is the person who helped them enter the country. With all the necessary information in hand, Kelly immediately begins his mission to avenge the deaths of his wife and old friends. Next, Kelly goes to Andre's office, pretending to be drunk. Andre's security stops him and sends him away. Undeterred, Kelly returns to his pickup truck and decides to pursue Andre. On the highway, he chases Andre's car and collides with it at a turn. He blocks Andre's vehicle so that he cannot escape. Kelly sets fire to his own car and climbs into it. He threatens Andre while shooting him in the leg to force him to reveal the identity of the 4th Russian member of the squad. After some struggle, Andre finally admits that the name is Viktor Rykov. Kelly exits the vehicle but is immediately apprehended by the police. Karen visits him in prison and informs him that he is in serious trouble for killing Andrei. Everyone in the office is upset with his actions, as Russia is now expected to retaliate. Kelly, however, tells her that he intends to kill everyone involved in his wife's murder. He also informs her that he knows something they do not, and if they want that information, they must secure his release from jail. Back in his cell, Kelly notices movement outside. An officer orders him to stand and face the wall for further questioning, but he refuses. 3 officers then try to drag him away. Kelly fights back and threatens to kill one of them. He orders them to leave the prison.
Close the door, I'm gonna start snapping necks!
Soon, a U.S. Marshal arrives and invites Kelly to accompany him. The Marshal provides Kelly with a phone. Kelly answers it and begins speaking. Karen talks to him and requests to accompany the Marshal. Kelly joins them for a closed meeting at an unnamed military installation. He is asked to share the secret information he possesses, and he reveals the name Viktor Rykov. He is then requested to identify photographs that resemble Viktor. However, Agent Ritter informs them that Viktor has already died. Despite this, Kelly recognizes him in the photographs. Later, Ritter tells them that Viktor is a Russian spy involved in a variety of operations across the United States. He also reveals that Viktor had long been a CIA target, but the agency was unable to capture him. The secretary informs them that Viktor is now hiding in Russia. Kelly demands to accompany the squad to apprehend him, and the secretary agrees.
With all due respect, I think he's perfectly suited.
Following that, Lieutenant Commander Karen, Kelly, and their team prepare to board a passenger plane bound for Russia. Agent Ritter arrives and informs them that he will meet them in Moscow. Kelly, suspicious of Ritter, decides to be cautious around him. Karen and Kelly board the plane heading to Russia. As they approach Russian Federation territory, their plane is suddenly intercepted by the Russian Air Force. The Russians demand that they land immediately at Murmansk Airport. When the pilot refuses, the Russians attack the plane's wing. The plane crashes into the Barents Sea, landing on Russian territory. Kelly and the rest of the team struggle to escape the water. They take shelter in a Russian safe house and survive aboard a boat. After some time, they travel to Murmansk and reach another safe house, where Ritter is seen plotting with 2 Russians and money on the table. Kelly accuses Ritter of betrayal and forces him to reveal his true intentions. Ritter explains that he arrived after the plane attack, when everyone assumed they were dead, and that he has come to complete the mission of capturing Viktor. He also tells Kelly that he hired the 2 Russians to guide them to Viktor. Kelly prepares to shoot Ritter while choking him. Karen arrives and begs him to control his anger. Kelly manages to calm himself and ultimately spares Ritter's life. Agent Ritter then leads them to Viktor's apartment. Kelly arrives to find Viktor's bodyguards already dead. He sees Viktor wearing a suicide jacket waiting for them. Viktor greets Kelly and says he knew that Kelly and his team were coming to Russia to kill him. Viktor assures Kelly that he was not the one who planned the murder of Kelly and his pregnant wife. Kelly listens as Viktor claims that they are in the same situation and that someone else led them there to die. Kelly tries to reason with Viktor, but Viktor pushes the button and blows himself up. A sniper then shoots Dallas, one of Kelly's squad members, immediately after the explosion. The team struggles to locate the sniper. Eventually, they track him down and kill him. Meanwhile, another sniper opens fire on them. Karen and Kelly track down the remaining enemies and eliminate them in action. Meanwhile, Russian police and military have surrounded the residential complex. Kelly directs his team to escape through the back of the building, while he turns to face the officers on the rooftop. He detonates a device, killing many police officers, as his men successfully flee the apartment in a van. Kelly keeps the enemies occupied by himself while the others escape. He also fights the military personnel who are attempting to capture him on the apartment stairs. Eventually, he escapes as well, disguising himself as a Russian soldier with a tear gas mask covering his face. Next, he arrives at the coordinates in a Russian vehicle. Karen greets him and drives him to a boat. He quickly departs Russia with his remaining team members, along with Karen and Ritter. On the boat, Kelly questions Agent Ritter about Viktor and his connection to the CIA. Ritter explains his career and instructs Kelly to carry a money bag on the boat and disappear somewhere in the world. He promises to report Kelly as dead to the CIA after the operation. Kelly thanks him and apologizes for previously suspecting him of being a traitor. After some time, while Secretary Clay is in a restaurant restroom, Kelly appears. He confronts Clay about his true motives for sending him to Russia, referencing Viktor's pawn conversations. When Clay cannot answer, Kelly kidnaps him in his car. Kelly threatens to kill Clay's family if he does not reveal the truth. Secretary Clay finally explains why he assigned Kelly to the mission. He implies that U.S.-Russian connections should be limited to protect the economy. He further reveals that both countries had planned to use them as bait, creating situations where people from both sides would threaten each other with war. This, he claims, would unite the American people against Russia, while keeping the governments themselves free from suspicion. During the conversation, Kelly drives the car into a river drowning both himself and Secretary Clay. Karen quickly pulls Kelly out of the river. Kelly hands over a recorded device containing Clay and Karen's confessions to the CIA. Karen drops Kelly off at an airport and gives him a new passport. She begs him to start over with a new identity and not to forget about her. The end. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more recaps like this.